news with no bias, serving you the hottest and latest news updates, reporting nothing but the truth. Protests, politics, actual, exclusive, global, economy and world. This is Deviance News.
Magandang araw Pilipinas, maayong adlaw kaninyong tanan. Assalamualaikum mga malulam sa Lekanulangon. Good morning Philippines, good morning world. You are now watching the #1 TV station here in Cotabato City, serving you the hottest and latest news updates. This is Deviance News. For our headlines. More men and Native Americans are addicted to depressants. Substance abuse surge in fatal drug overdoses in U.S. teens. Root causes of substance-related abuse will be revealed. Impact of substance abuse will be discussed. And now, let's find out the treatments for the substance abuse.
In epidemiology, it has been estimated that nearly 9% of teens and adults in the United States have a substance abuse disorder. According to the data, Asian, Hispanics, and African Americans are less likely to develop a lifetime substance abuse disorder compared to the non-Hispanic white individuals. NSDUH said that Native Americans have the highest rate of substance abuse at nearly 22%. Additional demographic variables also suggest that overall substance abuse is greater in men than women.
Substance-related abuse will be revealed.
Young people are dying. They're overdosing on heroin and fentanyl. You wonder, how did this young person get to this horrible spot in life? Let's turn back the clock. Go back in time, to younger days, to understand how addiction starts, to understand how to prevent it from happening. While each addiction situation is different, there are generally 3 ingredients. First, teens have a lot to cope with. Many teenagers are trying to figure out, who am I? What is my identity? And there is stress. When teens were asked, they said the #1 reason they used drugs was to deal with the pressures and stress of school. And some teens have to cope with stress at home. There could be emotional neglect, abuse, divorce, a family member with an illness, a family member who's addicted, the death of a loved one, money troubles, or other challenges. Many teens also need to cope with depression or social anxiety. In addition to a lot to cope with, some teenagers, through no fault of their own, have poor coping skills. Maybe their parent or parents have been caught up in their work or other family crises and do not even realize that their teenage child needs help. Maybe their parent or parents are struggling themselves and are simply not able to teach their kids how to constructively cope with life. And teens who experience day-to-day depression or social anxiety may develop an unwarranted negative self-image. This can make it tougher to cope. The third ingredient to addiction that may be present is certain brain chemistry. Some people, by virtue of how their brain processes chemicals, get hooked easier. You can attribute this to your family tree, otherwise known as genetics. Genetic susceptibility doesn't have to be present for a teen to develop addiction, but it can increase their chances. All 3 of these pieces do not have to be present for addiction to happen. Any one piece, if strong enough, can lead a teen down the addiction path. So how does addiction start?
Para sa kalagayan ng panahon, narito si Sally Zangkala. Sally?
Welcome for your today's weather forecast. Intertropical Convergence Zone or ITCZ affecting the Mindanao. Easterlies affecting the rest of the country. Today is our election day. According to Pag-asa, in Mindanao could experience a cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorm. Flash floods or landslide due to moderate to heavy rains could be the possible impact. Metro Manila and the rest of the country could experience partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorm. Flash floods and landslide could be the possible impact. So don't leave at your home without your umbrella. So that is your weather forecast for today.
Maraming salamat, Sally. To lighten us up more about the treatments of the substance abuse, here is Mr. Windsor Alviso. Windsor?
Given the large number of the population affected by substance abuse, it is not surprising that there are many different approaches to treat substance use disorder. Overall, treatments for substance-related disorders are only mildly effective, likely due in large part of the addictive qualities in many of these substances. This is for biological. First is detoxification. Detoxification refers to the medical supervision of withdrawal from a specified drug. While most detoxification programs are inpatient for increased monitoring, some programs allow for outpatient detoxification, particularly if the addiction is not as severe. Agonist drugs. As researchers continue to learn more about both the mechanism of substances commonly abused, as well as the mechanism in which the body processes the substances, alternative medications are created to essentially replace the drug in which the individual is dependent on.
Thank you very much, Windsor. At yan na naging kabuuan ng aming pagbabalita sa araw na ito. Serving you the hottest and latest news updates. News with no bias. News with transparency. This is Deviance News.
This is Deviance News.